Hi and welcome back to the second part of building a CRM using Django and Vue. In this part we're going to focus mostly on Django, but we're also going to do a little bit of Vue. First you can install a virtual environment and install Django there. I always like to use a virtual environment because it makes everything with the deployment much easier. And to install virtual environment you say pip install virtual env. Oops. Like that. And when that's on, you can create a new virtual environment by saying virtual env and then the name, which I like to just call environment, and then the version of Python I'm running, which is 3.8.2. Great. And then I can activate it by saying source environment bin activate. And then you can see here that the name of the environment comes before my username. That means that the environment is activated. Great. So then I can just set this task to done and I can go to the next one, which is install Django. And to install Django, I just say pip install Django. This will install the latest version of Django, which is 3.2 right now, and also a few dependencies. Great. So then I can set that task to done. Then I can install Django Rest Framework, which of course isn't a thing, it's Django Rest Framework. Like that. Pip install Django-Rest-Framework. And Django Rest Framework is a Python library we use to create API views and similar. So I can set that as to done. And now we can install Django course headers. This is a library to help us with security. Pip install Django course headers. Set that task to done. And then I want to install Djoser. Pip install Djoser. And Djoser is also something going to help us with security and help us with authentication and similar. Great. So now we have installed everything we need on the backend for now. And we can go to the next task, which is to create the Django project. Django-admin start project Ganar CRM Django. Great. So in the folder now, the root folder, I have the environment, Ganar CRM Django, and Ganar CRM Vue. So if I just open this, you'll see that I have a new file here, manage.py. This is a script for running administrative tasks like initializing the database, creating super admins, and similar. In here you have the init.py, which is just telling Django to treat this folder as a package, ASGI and WSGI as entry points for the web server. urls.py is like a collection of paths and pages for the project. And settings.py is globally settings or configuration for the whole project. Great. So then we have created our Django project. And we can go now to configure the project, because you need to tell Django to use the apps we just installed. So in here we have something called installed apps. Django comes with a few of these, but we also need to append Rest Framework and Rest Framework.auth token, just so Django knows that we're going to use authentication tokens, and course headers, and also Djoser. Great. And we can also configure the course to tell that we're the address for the front end. And to do that, we say course allowed origins equals, and create a list. And in here we add http://localhost 8080. Oops, like that. And this is the address for the front end that we have running here. So then there's just one more thing I need to add here, and that is inside the middleware. Above the common middleware, we need to add course headers dot middleware dot course middleware. Great. And middleware, this is kind of like the code that is running in the back end of Django, and this will be executed before most of the rest of the code for Django, so we checked for security there. And that's it for the settings file for now. So now I can go back to the to-do list and set this task to done. And then I want to add the URLs for the Djoser project to the URLs page. So first I can just remove that big comment. And then here I need to append one more function from Django.urls called include, because I want to include some functions there. And then here I say path, and every path that begins with API/v1/, then I want to include Djoser.urls. Copy this, paste, and also want to do the same path, but I also want to include auth token and save. And by adding this we get a lot of cool functionality. We can now actually create users, login and similar using the API just because of the Django Rest Framework and Djoser. This gives us a lot of magic and so much happens beyond the hood now. So if there are functionality we get now that you don't understand why, it's probably because this gives us a lot of important things. So then we can set this to done. Before I continue, I just want to say thanks to my Patreons. If you too want to support me, you will find a link to my Patreon in the description below. And the next task now is to initialize the database. And to do that, we just say python manage.py. Oops, I need to go into the Canard CRM Django folder and say python manage.py, make migrations to create migrations files for the database, and then python manage.py migrate to initialize the database. So now we get one more file here called db.sqlite3. This is a good database for development and similar, but in production we're going to use PostgreSQL, which is much better. So now we have a database. I can set that task as well to done. And now we want to create a super user so we can log into the admin interface and similar. Python manage.py create super user. And then say admin, which is the username I want to use. Admin at canardcrm.com. And then a password. Great. So then I can set that task to done as well, and we can run the development server. Python manage.py run server. This will start a local Django server. This cannot be used in production, but it's very nice and handy for testing things locally. So here you can see, if you go to the front page, that we have URLs, admin and API, but nothing on the front page, but we won't have anything there anyways. But if I go to admin, I can log in with the user I just created. Here you can see tokens and also a list of users, only admin so far. But later more things will come here, like the leads and also other things that the users of Canard CRM are adding. But for now, this task can be set to done, and we can go to the front end and start working there, because now we want to make it possible to sign up. So if I now just open up this folder src and find the sign up view we created in the last part, in the previous part. So in here I want to do a few changes, because when we submit this form we need to call a function. And to call a function when I submit this, we say at submit.prevent submit form. And we call prevent because we don't want the HTML or browser's default actions for the form to be called. We just want to call this function. And then if I just copy the name of that function, go down here to edit here, I need to add something called methods. Console.log submit form. So when we submit it now, we just will see this in the console. We can try that. Go to sign up, open up the inspector. If I now click, whoops, and now click submit, you'll see submit form there. Perfect. And then I need a way to connect these 3 fields with the submit form. And to do that, we add another attribute to the input field called vModel username. And the same for password 1. And the same for password 2, of course, like this. So now we can access these from Vue very soon. Just need to add a list of data here. So this is a function return. Now it's a username, set the default to empty, password 1, default empty, and password 2, default empty. So if I want to check here now, I can say console.log this.username. If I go back to Vue now, say something here, submit. Okay, I need to add a valid email, submit, but it's printed here now. Perfect. And also, if there are any errors in this form, I want to show them above the submit button. And to do that, I say div class notification is danger. If I only want to show this if there are any errors, and to check that as errors.length. Close that div, and in here I want to p, and I want to loop through all of the errors in the list of errors. V for error and error, and in here I just want to show the error. As you can see here now, there is a warning here, and that's because I need to bind the paragraph to a unique key. And to do that, I say v bind :key error. So now Vue knows that this paragraph or all of them are unique. And then I need to create a new list at the bottom of data, like this. So if I go back now, nothing happens because there are no errors. Then I need to make it possible to talk to the backend. And to do that, I say from Axios import Axios. And I also want to import the toast we created in the import from Axios. And I also want to import Bulma toast. Import toast from Bulma toast. And I can just remove these comments because in here I want to do a little bit of validation for the data. First I reset this .errors, set this to be empty, and then I say if this .username, if it's empty, then I want to show an error. This .errors.push, the username is missing, and the same with if this .password1, if that's empty, then this .errors.push the password, password is too short. And if this .password1 not equals this .password2, then we say this .errors.push, the passwords are not matching. Forgot to add a parenthesis. And then when that's done, I can try it out just to see that it's working. Okay. Error in errors, of course. And now I get the username is too short, the password is too short as well. Great. So then I can go back here and I know now that the validation is okay. And here I can say if not this .errors.length, then I know that there are no errors and I can proceed by sending the data to the backend. And then I just want to create the object const form data equals username this.username password this.password1. So I only want to send in one of the passwords. And what happens now is that we send this to Django Rest Framework and Djoser, which handles the user creations, send information to Django, which then sends information to the database, and everything should be stored. And to send it to the backend, we call Axios .post, and then we say /API1, no, /API v1 users. This is one of the endpoints that comes from Djoser. And we just want to send the form data variable. And when that's done, we can say then response. This is data we get back from the server. And then we want to show a toast to the user to say that the account was created. Toast. The message we want to say is that the account was created, please log in. And the type is success, so it's a nice and green success or toast. Dismissible, true, so we can exit out. Pause on hover can be true, so it's pauses when you have the mouse over. Duration 2000 milliseconds. Position bottom right, so in the lower right corner. And when that's presented to the screen, also this dot router push /login. So it will be redirected to this page when it's done. And also, if there are any errors coming from the server, we want to show this as well. So catch error. Sorry, I need to add dot catch. If error dot response, then we say for const property in error dot response dot data, and this dot errors dot push, then pass in a variable here, which is the property, which is the field that has the error, colon error dot response dot data property. So then we show the error in here. And if it's not error dot response but the error dot message, we need to add that as well. Else if error dot message. There are two ways to get errors from the backend, but here we can just add this dot errors dot push. Something went wrong, please try again. Great, so now we can save this. We don't have any errors here. So now the functionality for signing up should actually be finished. So we can go here, just refresh so everything is okay. Code.com, and then the password. Submit. Okay, form data is not defined. Why is that not defined? From data, of course not. Form data. Okay, I can try again. Okay, the account was created and I was redirected to the login page. And I guess that also if I go here to users, you'll see that a new user here is created. Perfect. So now we have the possibility to sign up on our CRM. Now we need to make it possible to log in as well. So then I can go to the login.vue and I can copy a little bit of this functionality. For example, this. And I can copy the V model for the username. And also for password 1. Just need to rename this to just password. And I can copy the error showing, paste it above there. And I can copy the Axios because I'm going to use Axios. And I can copy this data array. Oops, like that. Just need to remove password 1, like that. Great, and here I also will need the methods list, like that, submit form, like that. Great. And in here I just want to reset the authorization and stuff, just to know that we are not authenticated or anything like that. So to do that we say axios.defaults.headers.common authorization, set this to be empty, and also local storage.remove item token. Then we can create a const form data here as well. Username, this.username, password, this.password. And this is also going to be sent to the backend. Axios.post/API v1 token/login. So this is another different endpoint we get from Djoser. Then we pass in form data. And when that's done, we get the response back like that. And then we get the token from the response by saying const token equals response.data.auth token. And we want to save this in the store or the Vuex we created in the first part. So we're going to call this function where we set state token and is authenticated to true. To do that, we say this.store.commit, and commit is used to call the mutations functions. Here is a set token, and then we pass in token. Great. And then we can also set the Axios default headers to token space plus token. And after that we want to save the token in the local storage. So local storage.set item token, pass in token. And when that's done, I just want to redirect the user. So this.router.push, send it the user to the front page, but now we can send to my account dashboard/my account. And then I want to copy the catch from here to show errors if there are any, and save. So if I now go back here, you can try to log in with the wrong password. We are unable to log in with the provided credentials. Okay, so try a new password. Submit, and now I was redirected to my account. And we are now authenticated, because if not, we was not able to access this page. Great, so now we can log in and create accounts, and then the last task of this part will be to make it possible to log out from the front end. So it's done from the My Account page. Below this button, I want to say div class column is 12. Create the button here, button at click, log out. So we call this function when we click the button. This at is shorthand for V on, if you didn't know, but it's nicer to just say at click. Class button is danger, so it's red, so you know that something is going to happen when you click it. Then we can create the functions or the methods. I want to use Axios here, so I need to import it. Import Axios from Axios. And then I can say async, because I want to call a little bit of code after the Axios post is finished. So I need to make this asynchronous. So async logout and await Axios. So the code will not continue before I get the response back from the server. Dot post /API /v1/token /logout. Then get a response back, lowercase, and here I actually just want to say console.log logged out, and if there are any errors, which there probably won't be, catch error. Then I just want to show them in the console. And we can say json.stringify error, because it's probably not anything important. There can be token invalidations and stuff, but we still want to log out the user. So after this code is finished, we want to say axios.defaults.headers.common authorization, and then set this to be empty, and local storage dot remove item token, and this dot store dot commit remove token. So the Vuex is also updated. Then we can say this dot router dot push /. So we go to the front page when we are logged out. So we can go and try this now. Refresh, no errors. We get the logout button and we click it. We are sent to the front page. As you can see here, I actually got the error from the back end. I got a 403 forbidden. Okay, but that's not important right now. But we are still able to log out. So if I just go back here now, set this task to done, then every task of this part is finished. I hope you enjoyed it, and if you did, please click like below and also share it with friends and subscribe if you haven't already. See you in the next video.